How terrifying can a controlling and abusive husband be? Just because the towels in the bathroom weren't lined up perfectly, he immediately called his wife over and forced her to inspect what was wrong on the spot. Laura's face went pale with tension. Once she realized there was indeed a problem, she quickly rearranged the towels while apologizing profusely to her husband. Mike always kept his tone even and calm on the surface, but Laura didn't dare let her guard down for a second. When it came time to prepare dinner, she was terrified of making another mistake. She opened the cabinets repeatedly, checking to make sure everything was arranged just right and that all the can labels faced outward. She checked over and over again until she was absolutely certain nothing was out of place before she dared continue with her work. When she was taking too long to get dinner ready, Mike simply headed out to the beach to chat with their new neighbors. During their conversation, the neighbor casually mentioned that his wife was beautiful. It was just an offhand compliment, but Mike took it to heart. When he returned home, he walked through the door dripping with sarcasm, turning it around to praise the neighbor for being young and handsome. Laura immediately sensed something was wrong and tried to casually brush past him, but Mike only got nastier, even suggesting that the neighbor must have come over while he was out. Despite Laura's repeated denials and insistence that she didn't even know the man, her husband's rage spiraled out of control, and he lashed out at her physically. After 50 years of marriage, this kind of violence had become routine. Laura had thought about escaping the relationship before, but she simply didn't have the strength to fight back. This life was torture for her. But to keep the marriage intact, Laura had no choice but to endure. The next moment, though, Mike seemed like a completely different person. He helped Laura to her feet, speaking to her gently and soothingly, simply because he suddenly remembered there was something important happening that day. Their neighbor had just bought a sailboat and had invited them out on the water that evening. Laura had no choice but to agree. When night fell, they went sailing with their neighbor. But the weather suddenly took a turn for the worse. A violent storm swept in, snapping the sail ropes. Mike rushed over to help, but was accidentally hit by the boom and fell into the water. The neighbor quickly reached out and grabbed him, and by the time they managed to pull him back onto the boat, Mike realized his wife had vanished. The two men frantically called out her name, but no matter how hard they searched, there was no trace of her. They contacted the Coast Guard and requested a search of the surrounding waters, but all they found was her life jacket. What Mike didn't know was that while he had always believed his wife couldn't swim, at that very moment, she had quietly made her way back home. Laura pulled out a package she'd hidden in the ceiling storage. It contained everything she needed to run away, all carefully prepared in advance. She quickly changed her clothes, cut off her long hair, and put on a wig she'd prepared beforehand. Then she took off her